Wow, thank you, everyone. This is a great, great turnout for an unbelievable event. I'd like to welcome everyone to this celebration. We have some important people in attendance today that I'd like to acknowledge, especially Jeff and Jennifer Rubin, who are the project leaders for Plaza 44, and their sons Benjamin and Nathan. Thank you. I'd also like to welcome Trustee Steve Ballantyne, who's in attendance, Trustee Pat Montino and her husband Lou. I saw them somewhere here. Daryl Gross, Special Assistant to the Chancellor. Daryl, thanks for coming. Brian Hanlon, Master Sculptor, Hanlon Studios. Where's Brian? How you are, Brian? Thank you, Brian. Unfortunately, Cliff and Sue Ensley couldn't make it today, but we talked to them about 15, 20 minutes ago. They're very excited for this and appreciate everything you're doing, Jeff. You wanted to make sure we pass that on. Key donors for the 44 Plaza include a lot of those in attendance today, all the friends of the program who donate to athletics. I'd like to also thank head men's basketball coach Jim Boeheim and his staff for being here today. Thanks, Coach. It's great to see some former student athletes here, and of course all the Syracuse athletic staff that's here today. Thank you so much, you guys, for being a part of the celebration. We're here today to introduce Plaza 44, honoring our rich football tradition and how it adds to the excitement surrounding our football program in the new Ensley Center. Syracuse Athletics prides itself on developing the student athlete. The legends we celebrate today, Jim Brown, Ernie Davis, and Floyd Little, are each enshrined in the College Football Hall of Fame. They are all All-Americans. Jim and Floyd are in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. All three are graduates of Syracuse University. Relating to today's team, I'd like to talk a little bit about the success of our student athletes in football, and this has been an incredible year. We're proud of head coach Scott Schaefer and his program. This spring, his team posted the highest semester grade point average in the history of Syracuse University athletics. Thank you, Scott. Almost 50 student athletes achieved a 3.0. The freshman class posted a 3.29 GPA. That's incredible, you guys. Good job, Tommy. It's good stuff. At this time, I'd like to introduce Daryl Gross, the Special Assistant to Chancellor Severud. Come on up, D.
Well, thank you, Pete. And forgive me ahead of time if I repeat some of the things you said. On behalf of the Chancellor, I'd like to welcome everyone on this glorious day to this 44 Plaza groundbreaking. And today we recognize and celebrate three incredible, legendary men. I'm looking at you, Floyd, of course. Jim Brown, as Pete talked about, arguably the greatest player ever. And I hope Syracuse, I know the community understands that here from this hamlet, we have the greatest player to ever play the game, arguably is right here and played right here. Ernie Davis, the first African-American to win the Heisman Trophy. I mean, just so much history. And the movie Express that a lot of you were part of was just fantastic. And my great friend and colleague, as Pete mentioned, Pro and College Football Hall of Famer, Floyd Little, Syracuse's only three-time All-American. But what I'm so excited for Floyd because he's been recognized by everybody in the world. You know, pro football, college football, and he's so excited about this. This means so much to him. And you're like a little kid out here today, man. I'm so happy for you. He's been such an unbelievable inspiration to the world. The impact that you've made on people is just unbelievable. The best Pro Football Hall of Fame speech I've ever heard. So I'll get off soon so we can hear you talk today. But we are grateful and thankful for so many people who have helped and contributed to this project. And I would really like to highlight the Rubin family. And this would not be possible at all today without the generosity of Jennifer and Jeff Rubin, who are here with their boys, as Pete mentioned, Benjamin and Nathan. And you guys should stand up right now and take a bow, kids, you know. Jeff and Jennifer, thank you. Thank you for your vision in helping this dream become a reality. There's so many other people here that we are so grateful and thankful for making this happen. This plaza will be a daily reminder of greatness to all of the student athletes and coaches who use this facility and will be a beacon globally of what it means to be extraordinary. So right now, I would like to introduce a man that's been part of this program for some years now, led us to 2 pinstripe bowls. If you guys remember that one where he took out Geno Smith in the end zone for 2 safeties. As a first-year head coach in the first year in the ACC, won the Texas Bowl. He's got a healthy squad coming back. He's going to be so great. He's a great head coach for us. I'm so proud of him. Coach Scott Schaefer.
Well, I spoke to a good friend a while back about messaging, knowing that I was going to have to speak quite often, becoming a head coach. And they said one good thing about messaging, or one key element, is don't ever forget that redundancy is well and good. So with that being said, I would also like to thank the Rubin family, Steve Ballantyne, Pat and Lou Martino, Renee Baumgardner for her work on this project, Daryl Gross, Pete Sala, and of course the numerous donors in attendance that have made this plaza possible and this tribute to number 44 possible. From the football program's perspective, the number 44 is a culture. It's more of a culture than anything. It's not a jersey number, and it's not a former player that you think about when you see number 44. Albeit three men that we're honoring today, I think Floyd included would definitely agree with the fact that it's far more about 1 or 2 or 3 people and more about a culture. The number represents far more than merely athletic ability on the football field. 44 embodies the student athlete as a whole. In this day and age, it's really important. I see these kids coming in and one-and-done guys in basketball, and Jim and I have talked about those kids, and the culture's changed as to what the student-athlete was and is today. The combination of athleticism, academia, and the character is what's truly at the forefront of number 44. From Jim Brown to Ernie Davis and my friend Floyd Little, number 44 is about a whole person, unafraid to carry challenges of being a student-athlete on their back. When I speak to our current players and our recruits especially about those who wore this jersey, we speak far more about this culture as opposed to simply a great player. Through my recruiting travels, it's become very evident that the legend of 44 is recognizable by today's generation. And I wasn't so sure of that when I first got the job. A few guys out there that reminded me of that are 17 years old this past recruiting year. Growing up a Cleveland Browns fan as a kid, I'm from outside of Cleveland, Ohio, and a high school coach's son. My father reminded me, and he was sure that I knew about Syracuse and 44 and Jim Brown, or Jimmy Brown as he would say, and Ernie Davis, and just how important it was to understand that for decades, 44 has truly become a trademark for greatness in our Syracuse football program. Number 44 represents a young man's fight through racial prejudice to overcome very difficult times in our country's past. Those are the things we talk about with our players, to understand what we represent now because of what and who came before us. Number 44 is what's right about college football. Personally, it's a great privilege to be a small part of honoring the number 44 with this great plaza behind me. Thanks for all in attendance, for your part in making this happen, and go Orange. Did I miss that memo?
That's okay. We're very grateful and appreciative to have a special person in attendance today, our Vice Chancellor and Provost, Liz Liddy, to introduce other special guests. Thank you.
My apologies. I thought it was a little later in the program. That's fine. But I'm delighted and honored to say a few words today. I'm going to talk a bit about Jeff Rubin. The Jeff Rubin I know, and I may have known him before any of you did. I knew him when he was an undergraduate student. Jeff is a 2-time graduate of the I School, where I was dean until 4 months ago. He is now a professor of practice in the I School. and he's an absolutely amazing teacher. He teaches classes of 200 to 250 fully engaged students every year. He teaches a course, Introduction to Technologies. Did you take it? I did. I love it. They love him. He's frequently voted by students as the Professor of the Year. In addition to that, you probably know more about this, he's founder and president of Sidearm Sports, a business which I'm proud to say is right in the iSchool in Hines Hall. It's the #1 provider of college athletic websites in the world with almost 800 clients. So they're the ones who provide the news, statistics, videos, and all the player updates, all available from a Sidearm-powered website. He has approximately 40 full-time employees, a number of whom teach as adjuncts as well for the university. He hires 35-plus students a year, either full-time or part-time. Students get hands-on experience at a technology company without even having to leave the campus. A number of these students have gone on to full-time work in the sports technology field at places they had only dreamed of until they had the experience with Jeff, such as NFL. Very, very happy students. What's amazing to me is Jeff will always, always stop his work, whatever he's doing in Sidearm Sports, if we have high school students and their parents walking through the school. He will stop, he will meet with them, he'll invite them in, he will encourage them, he'll talk about the university, he'll talk, of course, about the iSchool. And what he does is he shows them how it's possible to integrate technology with your passion. And they soon apply for admission. The iSchool considers Jeff their very, very secret recruiting magic. If he talks to them, they will come. He has established, an amazing partnership with MLB.com, whom he brings to campus every year. They run a weekend baseball app competition. MLB lays out a challenge for the student teams. They work over the day and the next night. And they finally pitch out to MLB, who continues to bring more and more of their executives up to hear what the students have created for their problems. They win prizes, but the most important thing is the experience they have. Several students each year get hired, either in full-time or part-time positions at MLB.com. MLB.com now has 25 Syracuse University graduates. Let me change it a little bit. In 2014, Jeff and Jennifer were presented with the MVP award by the Jim and Julie Boeheim Foundation for their support not only of the foundation but of other causes across central New York, such as serving on the board of the Joannio School. Although Jeff will say he's never been much of an athlete himself, and I've heard him say that many times, he loves everything about sports, especially Syracuse University athletics. You will see him courtside at the scorer's table at all basketball games or along the sidelines at football, a true fan and supporter of the Orange. So kudos and many thanks to Jeff and his wife Jennifer, his partner at Sidearm Sports, and their philanthropic giving, as well as to the boys, Nathan and Benjamin. So it is now my privilege, I'm sure all of you know him, but here is Jeff Rubin.
Good afternoon. I want to just, well, I don't think I have to introduce, but my unbelievable family, Nathan and Benjamin, they stood up, but my wife Jennifer, everything that everybody said and everything that Liz said, Jennifer is the glue that keeps us together. This Plaza idea started about 2 years ago when I was at a college convention, athletic convention, and there was some downtime. And I walked over, I was mesmerized by this Shaquille O'Neal giant statue. And I walked over and just said, so I'm from Syracuse, what would it cost to build 3 of these? And Brian Hanlon, who's with us today, without saying anything else, said, for Floyd Little, Jim Brown, and Ernie Davis? And that started a conversation. Brian Hanlon, without you, this wouldn't be possible, and I want to thank you for being here and all your work that you and Matt and your team have done. Jennifer and I want to thank everybody here who made this dream a reality. Renee Baumgartner, thank you. Dr. Darrell Gross, Sue Edson for years of friendship, Dr. Liz Liddy, Chancellor Severud, Pete Sala, again, years of friendship and guidance, and of course, Floyd and Deborah Little. I also want to recognize some of my staff from Sidearm Sports who came out today. Thank you. There are three main reasons Jennifer and I wanted to contribute to this plaza. One is philanthropy. We wanted to teach our children, Nathan and Benjamin, at a young age, the importance of giving back. Number two is a thank you to Syracuse University. My wife and I are both graduates of Syracuse University. I've been part of this campus for 24 years. I truly cannot put into words how much SU has done for me and my family. I love this university. I could go on for hours thanking everyone who's helped me along the way, but I'll spare you. Number three is 44. I do not believe there is a number in college sports, perhaps sports, that's more iconic than the number 44. It's part of our university in so many ways, beyond our zip code, beyond our telephone exchange. It's part of our legacy. It's part of our culture. And now for generations to come, every person who visits, works, or attends Syracuse University will have the opportunity to come to this 44 Plaza and learn and understand the importance of Jim Brown, Ernie Davis, and Floyd Little. I hope this plaza will serve as an inspiration and pride to our current student athletes, and I hope it'll help recruiting efforts as aspiring student athletes want to someday add their name and perhaps one day their own statue to our great university. Thank you so much.
And we're all very excited to have the bronze statues behind us when they come later this summer. One of the great things about having the people we do at this university is we get to hear from one of those people who will have a statue behind us. Floyd, will you please tell us a story or two? Thank you. Floyd Little.
Thank you. I got to say thank you all for being here today. This is really, really nice. It reminds me of the Pro Football Hall of Fame induction that took place 2010 in Canton, Ohio. I just want to acknowledge Vice Chancellor Liddy, board members, Dr. Gross, Pete Sala, Coach Schaefer, donors, friends, and families. I cannot believe that one day, in the next 2 months or 3 months, that there would be a 9-foot statue of me right there. I can't believe it. It's an unbelievable experience for me. There's no way I can describe the words that I'm feeling today. My wife Deborah and I are truly grateful to our good friends Jennifer and Jeff Rubin for your vision, for your generosity, and for your support for Syracuse University athletics. I want to thank you for that. Their vision was to have a place somewhere where they can identify the great Hall of Famer Jim Brown and the only Heisman Trophy winner in Syracuse University history, Ernie Davis, and the only 3-time All-American at Syracuse, right here, so some people, our future and our current student athletes, can come by and take a look at some of Syracuse University history at its best. There's nothing greater than that. My thoughts today is when I first met Jim Brown, it was unbelievable. And then the next time I met, and the first time I met Ernie Davis. Ernie Davis was an unbelievable student athlete. He showed up at my house with the great Floyd Ben Swartzwalder. Snowy day, cold. They claimed that they were just in the neighborhood. They had, along with them, Andy Marciano, who was a great Syracuse alum, along with Bill Bell, who was the running backs coach, and Jim Shreves, who was the freshman coach. In the ghettos, New Haven, Connecticut, they just want to stop in and say, hey. And I welcomed them in, but who could believe that the #1 draft pick for the Cleveland Browns that year and the first and current African-American to win the Heisman would stop by to see me? But it happened. And I can tell you that the conversation I had with Ernie Davis still resonates with me today. Ernie talked about the love and the passion that he had for Syracuse University, his teammates, and his coaches. And I got to tell you, he gave me some good advice while we were having dinner that day. Ernie said, Floyd, you will never regret coming to Syracuse. They would love you there. You will never regret it, you would love it, and you would do well. I gave my word to Ernie Davis that day that I would come to Syracuse, and I've never regretted it, not one bit. He gave me some good advice. Thank you, Ernie Davis, for allowing me to come to Syracuse University, where I have a lot of new friends and family. Thank you so much for that. My conversation again with Ernie was about his love for the university. Ernie gave me good advice, and I became a good friend of Ernie and his family. Wearing the number 44 that Jim Brown and Ernie Davis wore was magical. I was always challenged, though, to live up to the expectations, the standards that they had set with their greatness, that I had to come and follow that. There would never be another Ernie Davis or a Jim Brown. So your best bet is to be like me. I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Very soon, I will be sharing a permanent home in this plaza with Ernie Davis and my hero, Jim Brown, thanks to Jeff and Jennifer Rubin and so many others who was a part of making this day happen today. I saw Bill Eggers, who I saw in Boston, said, I want to do something for Jim Brown. Can you help me? And then Chris Bellini says, how can I help? And there's so many others here who stepped up and said, I want to be a part of this in some way. You know who you are. I know who many of you are. But on behalf of Ernie, Jim, and me, I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you for making it happen for us. There is an old saying in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. It's their mission statement that I think it's applicable for here today. The Pro Football Hall of Fame's statement that really, really goes with what's going on here today. It says to honor the heroes of the game, preserve its history, promote its values, and celebrate excellence everywhere. Today, I want to celebrate the excellence of all of you who had a part or a hand in making this day a reality. On behalf of all of us that are going to benefit from this, for all of you who stepped up and says, I'm going to donate, I'm going to contribute, I want to thank you personally. Jim's not here to thank you, and Ernie's not here to thank you. But I really, really want to thank you for this. This is very special. To honor the heroes of the game, preserve its history, promote its value, and celebrate excellence everywhere. Thank you all for allowing me to be a part of your family. I truly appreciate it. and I'm looking forward to my own pose, my own statue. That's going to be me right here. So if you want a picture of me before and after, you hang around when this is over. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
I'll tell you what, these last, I don't know, 7 or 8 weeks, to share an area, an office, or where we are working together every day with Floyd has been unbelievable. Not a day goes by. I've heard some of these stories. I never knew, 3-time All-American. I think, I didn't know that.
I thought I told you.
You told me about 100 times this week alone. I live and dream it every day. But no, I'll tell you what, it's been wonderful. And Jeff, thank you so much. I don't think people in this room realize what Jeff Rubin does for Syracuse University and Syracuse athletics. The things he does at the Dome behind the scenes to get the students in the building, the people that he works with, what he does for us as a university, incredible. Just an incredible individual, and this just shows the type of person that he is. For all who have ever been associated with Syracuse athletics and the legend of 44, it's a living legend. Syracuse University is one of many schools with honored numbers, our legend of 44. Plaza 44 honors Jim Brown, Ernie Davis, Floyd Little, the greats who've worn the number, and it will help us move forward and keep the rich tradition alive. Syracuse athletics and the number 44 have been so closely intertwined for decades that 44 has become a national symbol for the greatness of our program. We honor that, celebrate it, and will continue to celebrate it. With the blessing of Jim Brown and Floyd Little, the number 44 is back. Syracuse University, football orange, we are restoring 44 back to the program. I now would like to ask the special guest to please join me in the groundbreaking for the 44 Plaza. Thank you.